Google's Nexus program is still going strong and continues to win the hearts of Android enthusiasts. It's always a surprise on which manufacturer Google chooses each year, and the latest Nexus was no exception, hence why it made our best smartphone of 2016 list. The Chinese phone manufacturer, Huawei, was chosen to build the Nexus 6P. The new moniker is certainly interesting. It builds off of the previous year's Motorola-manufactured Nexus 6, but adds a P to represent premium design. There's no getting around that the Nexus 6P is a large phone. The 5.7 size display alone implies that, but the top and bottom bezel extend past that to make it even taller. However, that's not in vain. The 6P features something many phones don't: dual front-facing speakers. This makes watching videos a much better experience, as the sound is directed towards you and creates a stereo effect. The front is entirely a glass panel, but as you turn the device, you'll get an eye full of metal. The all-metal build is the result of Google's premium initiative. Huawei has already had a leg up on the metallic manufacturing process, so it was no problem for the company to meet Google's demands. On the sides, the edges are flanked by nice, shiny chamfers. The finish on the back is very smooth and feel great in the hand. However, it's also somewhat slippery. Our model is the graphite color, but it also comes in matte gold, aluminum, silver, and frost white. On the top, you won't be able to help but notice a strange design choice. A glass strip contains the camera module and various sensors that won't work through the metal. The section has a slight hump to it, but it's fortunately not invasive and doesn't impede on handling. The visor look may just not appeal to everyone. Right under it is a circular fingerprint scanner, which is also surrounded by a nice-looking chamfer. Then under that, a subtle, horizontal Nexus logo is painted within the finish. The power and volume rocker buttons are both on the right side of the phone. They aren't the firmest buttons, so you might have some accidental presses, but they have a nice tactile click to them. The fingerprint scanner can bypass the power button in turning the phone on, but you still need it to turn it off. There is unfortunately no implementation of double tap to wake/sleep. Performance. The Nexus 6P is blistering fast. The powerful Snapdragon 810 octa-core chipset together with the latest version of Android, Marshmallow, is simply an impressive matching. I'd challenge that you'll find a more fluid and smooth experience on any other Android smartphone. There's no stutter that I can tell, and scrolling within the Chrome browser or within an app just flies. Storage-wise, the 6P is available in 32GB, 64GB, or 128GB internal storage variants. Google is against Microsoft expansion, so you'll need to choose wisely. Fortunately, the operating system doesn't take up as much space as other phones that are software-heavy, since the Nexus is a pure Android experience. It's fabulous having two speakers that fire in the right direction, towards you. While the quality won't blow you away, there's a lack of low-end. The sound can get pretty loud and stays composed at higher volumes. Display. Huawei used a current Samsung AMOLED panel for the Nexus 6P's screen. This is a great thing, because Samsung makes arguably the best smartphone display. The resolution also matches the QHD 2560 by 1440 pixels trend of today's flagships. Therefore, colors pop and images look clear and sharp. I won't say that the screen quite matches the brilliance of the Galaxy Note 5, and definitely, the more recent Galaxy S7 lineup. There's a slight tint to the overall color and the screen doesn't get as bright as on Samsung phones. This also means that outdoor visibility is not as good either. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a fine display and most people should be satisfied with it. Software. Probably the biggest selling point about the Nexus program is the pure, stock Android experience. Android manufacturers typically take Google's software and modify it to make it their own, but the Nexus 6P is exactly how Google intended its mobile software to be. In this case, the most recent build to come from the software giant is Android 6.0.1, aka Marshmallow. On the Nexus 6P, Marshmallow is as buttery smooth as you've ever seen the Material Design user interface, UI, run. When you get to this level of fluidity, you understand Google's goal with the flashy animations and transitions when navigating through the UI. There's a satisfaction that you get as actions seamlessly invoke an extra dimension. Elements slide or pop into view, and apps smoothly expand as they fill the entire screen. Swiping and scrolling is super quick to respond and seems effortless. The layout of the UI is pretty simplistic. Google places the Google Now panel on the far left. Dropping down the top pull-down of course shows notifications, but pull it down again and you get your quick settings. The app drawer scrolls vertically and shows the most recently accessed apps on the top. The Recent Tapes carousel is unchanged from before. You scroll through the list and swipe away any apps you wish to close. Final thoughts. I think many would agree that the 6P progresses the Nexus line quite nicely. Huawei proved to be a great choice of manufacturer, delivering both a premium metal build and reasonable price tag. The 6P's camera performance is leaps and bounds better than its predecessor and can now stand up with the flagship competition. There's also a hefty battery despite that slim profile. No one can argue the software benefit that Nexus phones give us. You'll have the smoothest Android experience and will be the first to get updates. However, Nexus phones are only sold through the Google Store online. That means that you won't be able to check out the phone in the store before you buy it or get a payment plan from a carrier.